what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete, and guess what? I have one kind of an Italian stallion, not the one you're thinking about, the Ferrari. We're talking about the other Italian brand. This is it. This is a 2022 Alfa Romeo Stelvio, but this is the top performance trim. This is a Quadrifoglio. But before we dive into this all-wheel drive, twin turbocharged pasta rocket, let's talk about what's going on here. Alfa Romeo, that Italian brand that really built a name for itself in the early Grand Prix racing days. And we're talking about pre-war Grand Prix racing days. Now, what's fascinating is with all that dominance, obviously over the years, some of that specialness has been brought to the auto industry that really emphasizes not only that performance from the track, but also sexy Italian style. Now, until recent memory, Alfa Romeo was kind of absent after being in the country for a while here in the United States. They came back a few years ago, and they came back in a big way. Obviously, the 4C, one of my favorite cars of all time, really kickstart that whole campaign, and now we have this performance version of the Stelvio. Now, when you're looking at other performance SUVs, there's lots out there, from BMW, obviously AMG, Audi. I want to specifically focus on one in particular, that BMW X3 M. German performance, German style versus Italian. Let's see what performance SUV is the better one to buy. Let's go ahead and dive in our Stelvio Quadrifoglio and find out. Right off the bat, the presence. This car has a presence with its beautiful curves. Up front, I'm getting a little kind of bored with the headlight housing. I wish they would have refreshed this maybe for 2022, but you still have that larger style headlight housing. Now, what I do like about it is you got an LED projector beam headlight, LED daytime running lamp, but I love the way it hooks around the corner there, and then your LED turn signals. What this does lack in maybe sexy headlight housing, it brings tenfold in functionality. Massive corner air intakes that are fully functional. You can see the heat exchangers back there bringing lots of cool air. We have this diving board size splitter to stop air from going underneath the vehicle. And that's the crazy thing, is that yes, you could go get the groceries. Yes, you could go pick up the kids from school. You could actually turn some pretty fast lap times in this Alfa Romeo and surprise the heck out of everybody. Even as we work our way inward, you still have more functionality with this flat black area as well. But guess what? That's just the tip of the iceberg. As we slide to the center, you're gonna get that very unique triangular center grille. No other brand does this, so you're not gonna confuse this with a BMW. I love the way they work the outer perimeter with the design. You do have a little bit of gloss black. I am gonna zonk this. This would have been nice to have carbon fiber, but probably one of my favorite badges of all time, that Alfa Romeo badge. And just a little bit of a history lesson, the person is not being eaten by the serpent. The serpent, the man's coming out of the serpent's mouth. So that actually goes back to the Crusades, where the guy, the Crusader, was able to cross the desert and make it home alive. That's what that represents. I love the way they notch the body around the badge instead of just going straight. And then working your way down, there's more of that functionality with that, like I said, diving board size front splitter. Now, as we get up onto that low slung hood, you have gills just like a fish. This is where that Italian goodness just drips all over this thing. They're functional and they look super, super sexy. It's gonna draw that hot air. So as cool air comes in, hot air is gonna come out, and that's gonna help keep things a little chill, or at least a little cooler underneath the hood, because we do have twin turbo V6 power. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? I absolutely love these wheels. They're 21-inch wheels, all four corners. It almost looks like the Anthrax logo, but it also looks like a rotary dial from an old school telephone, or those Porsche 928s and 944s or Lamborghini Countaches. But I like the way it's a nice dark metallic gunmetal gray. You got that marinara sauce bright red on the 6-piston caliper with the Alfa Romeo badge. And then lurking behind there, we have rotors that are over 15 inches in diameter. So bigger than the pizza that you ate last night for braking capability. They're cross-drilled, 2-piece, and they're fully ventilated, of course. And then I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show that upper control arm. You can see all the work they did to the suspension, adaptive dampers, all 4 corners, and we do have all-wheel drive to grip the asphalt just like a Puma. Now, when it comes to tire size up front, they're 255 on the width, 40 series sidewall, but guess what? As we work our way towards the rear, things are gonna get a little bit wider. But definitely love the color combination with the blue and with the wheels. Now, I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing in and show you up front that you do have a little bit of fender flare. I like the way they painted all the way around. Wait until we get to the back. Another big identifier of this Alfa Romeo is gonna be the Quadrifoglio badge. This is the badge that represents their performance cars, and it goes back to the early Grand Prix racing days where their driver was having a bit of bad luck, wasn't winning any races, saw a 4-leaf clover, plucked it, put it underneath his helmet, and then he started winning again. And that's why it's on all the Alfa Romeo performance vehicles. Gloss black on the mirror caps. They did a great job integrating the turn signals. You also have roof rails. Now, I'll never understand why they put roof rails on this. It's not like you're gonna take this car camping, but without them, it would give it a little bit sexier look, but they're there if you do wanna get something. This might be the perfect track assist car. Like you take it to the track, you can have your stuff, go do your track days, maybe have another vehicle there that you're tracking, and then drive it home. Color matched on the door handles. You'll notice the beautiful curves. Everything just has a nice flow to it, like it's carved from a solid piece of metal. Down below, you have that flat black side sill extension. And then you'll notice, I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing back around, that the passenger door starts to actually come out on an angle because look at the fender flare that we have here. Extra wide fender flares for the rear because we're going big. 285 steamroll size on the rear, 21-inch wheel, 4-piston caliper, and you got a 14-inch rotor back here that is still cross-drilled, 2-piece, and fully ventilated. Now, as we rise back up, just want to point out that match the gloss black on the roof rails. You do have the gloss black around the window trim, and then swinging it out wide, just like from the front, the back, that fender flare is just, it's sexy. I mean, I would love to wash this car every day because it just is that good. And then you'll notice low roof spoiler, kind of stubby. I wish they would have brought it out a little bit further because this has got to go. This has got to go. This is not something that Italians should put just sticking out. So I'm going to zonk it. It should be tucked underneath there. So if you were to bring this out right about here, we could get that done. You do have your Stelvio badge. Obviously the Alfa Romeo, look at the way it kind of is almost sunken into the center there. Q4, what does that mean? You got 4 questions? No, you got all-wheel drive. And then as we work our way all the way down, look at that exhaust. Quad tip, 2 exhausts on each side, staggered, nice round opening stainless steel tips. And then the other great news is not only do you have that nice functional exhaust, but you also have functionality in the venting in the center and also that massive rear diffuser. Definitely comparing this to the X3 M, it has a more aggressive look and more functionality. But why don't we pop the hood and see how it stands out with its power with that twin turbo. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we got that hood popped. Of course, you have hood struts. One of the things I want to point out is you can actually see the strut top brace here to stiffen up the front end of the vehicle. Also, that engine cover, actually pretty good looking. It's got the V6 badge, 90-degree V6 with the Quadrifoglio. Twin throttle bodies. That's another thing you don't see on a lot of cars or SUVs, especially today. But what are we looking at? You're looking at that 2.9-liter twin turbo V6, 505 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission with all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds, quarter mile in 11.8 at 116 miles per hour. Top speed 176 miles per hour. The vehicle weighs 4,309 pounds and MPGs 17 in the city, 23 on the highway. But this is another thing that when it comes to Italian cars and SUVs, not only is the exterior beautiful, but also that engine compartment. But why don't we go ahead? I want to make some sweet music with this Alfa Romeo. Let's fire it up and have a little bit of an eargasm. All right, guys, we're in this Misano blue pasta rocket known as the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I have always liked these. I never see them on the road. I see a bunch of BMWs every single day. I'm kind of bored with BMW. How much is this, though? Because I'm very curious. So asking price is $78,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I do like the nice contrast stitching, the real carbon fiber that's been spilled all over the place, and you do have the Harman Kardon sound system. Now the zonk is some of the switchgear is straight out of the Dodge parts bin, just like that switchgear for your door locks and the window controls. But the awesome news, no gloss black, good size door pocket. You could easily get, I would say, 6 of my grandmother's famous Sicilian Italian meatballs in there with some extra parm and Tasteful speaker grill cover with the silver trim. Now going from the door panel to the dash, same story. The stitching, the carbon fiber looks great in here. This, not so much. So the big zonk in the center is going to be the small 8.8-inch infotainment system screen. It is the older Uconnect 4 operating software. It is a touchscreen though, and you do have navigation. It's a little on the slow side, but don't tell anybody. Modes, what I do like is when you go through your different modes, it actually shows a quadrifoglio there as you're going through the different modes. When we go to drive, you know what we're doing? We're gonna be going full race. There it is on the racetrack, looking good. Obviously, you wanna make that enlarged, there you go. Reverse, bring your magnifying glass. And you might want to bring some better resolution glasses because it's very, very grainy and not really large. There's a lot of dead space everywhere. I don't know why they made it so small, but we go back in the park and we're right back where we started. Clean on the AC vents. There's more of the Dodge AC controls. Not my favorite, but you do have a USB-A, a 12 volt, carbon fiber spilled all over the place. Some stitching looks tasteful. Open up the door, 2 cup holders, and then we have one massive key fob. It does have the nice Alfa Romeo badge. Spin it around. Guess what? Those are the same things you get on a Charger or Challenger, but you do get the Alfa Romeo script, so that's a nice plus. Put those back in there. This is going to control that ZF 8-speed automatic transmission with the stitching. No gloss black. Carbon fiber. You got a single Jolly Rancher holder right there. You got your mode selector knob to go through the different modes. Adjust the suspension. You got a direct drive control knob, radio control knob, wireless charging. This armrest, I guess the best way to describe it is if you actually took a rock and covered it in leather, because it's as hard as a rock. So just something to be aware of. Open it up. You do have a USB-A, USB-C, an aux jack, a place to charge the battery in that massive key fob, or what you could put in there, you know, your little Leaning Tower of Pisa statue that you got from your 8th grade field trip. Remember how you sold all those cookies and snacks door to door to raise money for your school trip and you went to Italy? You could put the Leaning Tower of Pisa little statue that you got right in there. Seats, phenomenal. Love the badging, the stitching, perforated, the leather. You do have electric assist for the passenger. Obviously, you have electric assist for the driver. I think the one zonk with the seats is you got 3-way heated seats, no ventilated seats. And at 78 Gs, That's a lot of pasta that you're gonna have to put down. You do have this panoramic sunroof. It's not one-touch operation. It's kind of a bummer. But the great news is that you got lots of headroom in here. But why don't you come over to the business end, because I have one of the best steering wheels I've ever laid my hands on. Coming over, I want to show you. All right, guys, business time. You got 3 memory seat settings. So if you have 2 paisans that you have known for a very long time, you can let them borrow your Stelvio Quadrifoglio and they can set up the seat exactly they want and save it. Working our way down, probably the smallest aluminum sill plate in the whole freaking world, maybe the whole universe. The good news is it does have the Quadrifoglio. Pedal box, very impressive. Aluminum dead pedal, brake pedal, and throttle. Seat controls, easy to get to, but once again, those are Dodge bin parts that they get. You go into a Charger, it's the same exact thing. Sitting here though, these seats are definitely not out of a Charger or a Challenger. Nice lateral grip, plenty of headroom, and then look at this. I wanna take it home, and I just wanna hug it all day long. Flat bottom with the Quadrifoglio badge, leather with some Alcantara, the start-stop button mounted on the steering wheel, and then what's even better than that, besides the badge, is you got these surfboard-style metal paddles bolted to the steering column, not the steering wheel. Really nice setup. And then what do you got? You got a 7-inch digital display in the center, and we have those very tasty analog gauges on both sides. I don't mind it. It's looking good. I even like the little touches like this where they kind of have the double bubble over your instrumentation. I think the other thing that's kind of missing that I'm going to zonk, no head-up display. That's a no-no. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get in the back seat because I want to go on throttle. Let's check out where your passengers are going to have the ride of their life in this Quadrifoglio. Right, guys, backseat time, and it's surprising because I thought it was going to be more cramped back here because of the overall very smooth shape, especially of the roof line. I thought for sure I would be sitting back here like this, but no, I'm able to sit upright and feel good even with the panoramic sunroof. The backs of the seats, they do have plastic and they do have those pesky cargo nets. I guess the good news is that you could put, I would say, 6 pieces of nice Italian garlic bread. Just slide them in, 6 of them. Don't go too thick or you're not gonna be able to fit it. Other than that, these cargo nets, it's a zonk for me. 2 AC vents that kind of look like eyeballs. Look, they're like watching you. Hey, over there. Look, they're like looking all over the place. You do have 3 stages of heated seats, 2 USB-As, and a small little atomic fireball pasta tray down there. Other than that, feels pretty comfy. How about the armrest? Same thing. They took a freaking hard piece of lasagna that was stale and wrapped it in leather because it's not soft at all. 2 cup holders though, and it does say the Alfa Romeo name in case your passengers forget what vehicle they're in. They could go like this. Oh, Alfa Romeo, that's the one. Let's go ahead, let's get in the cargo area and see how much mail we could haul in this Italian rocket. All right, guys, time to get in the cargo area. Hit the button. You do have electric assist. What's gonna be nice is you have a very wide opening. And then let me point out some of the things going on back here. Here's the subwoofer for that Harman Kardon sound system. Remember, 900 watts of power. You do have the handles to fold down the rear seats. We do have a 12-volt LED lighting. On the passenger side, what do we got going on? You got your nook for your box of racetrack Twinkies, very important. Home power source. And then when it comes to the amount of space back here, what do we got? With the seats up, you're looking at well over 20 cubic feet of space. You got that wonderful 12-speaker Harman Kardon sound system that pumps out 900 watts. But you know what? It's not about the sound system and the music it makes. What I want to do is I want to hop in. We got the keys and go on throttle in our Stelvio Quadrifoglio. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. Right away, you're just wrapped in this Italian fighter cockpit, like a fighter plane cockpit. The way it shifts, the sounds that it makes, and everything else is just glorious in here. Yes, you have those components that are definitely right out of the parts bin when it comes to Dodge products, but the seats are comfy. They hold you in nicely. The steering wheel is to die for. And then there's that on-throttle performance, which I want to show you if you are ready. Here we go. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Yeah! On the brakes, look at this. Nice. Powers right out of the turn with that all-wheel drive system. Ah! Wow. I tell you, twin turbo V6 power, this thing is way more intense than a BMW X3 M. Way more intense. It's got the sound, it's got the personality. Look at this. Now, I do have it in race mode, which I've noticed the suspension, it's quite a bit bouncy. It's a little bit of a pogo stick, but when you're on super smooth surface, it just keeps everything so planted, so precise. All the inputs, there's not really any body roll whatsoever. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the shifter, put it over to the left side, and actually use those massive paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic transmission. So if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. God. Nice. Whoa! Oh my God. Shifts are so quick. Bam, 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 bam. Just like a Gatling gun. And this isn't a dual clutch transmission. This is a traditional torque converter automatic transmission. Nice downshifts. The brakes are rock solid. You stop, you're giving everybody a ravioli. You're stopping on a ravioli and giving everybody a spare one that you have. That's how good the brakes are in this thing. But let's go ahead and go on throttle. On throttle. God. It's like getting kicked in the back of the head by a horse. I love on the instrumentation, the shift lights that illuminate to let you know when you gotta fire off that next shift. I just wish there was a head-up display. Second gear. On throttle. And this right-hand bend. Powers, look at that, God! I'm telling you right now, this thing is ferocious coming out of the corner. It's like a bucking bronco, just freaking getting the power, trying to send that power from the rear to the front, from the front to the rear. Absolutely stunning. All right, guys, once again, we're gonna use those paddles. On throttle, here we go. Oh my God. This thing is mind-blowing. Wow. There's some other SUVs, performance SUVs I could compare this to that on a spec sheet outperform this, but there's just something about the personality of this freaking rocket. I mean, it is insane. And it makes you forget about all of the zonks that are in here. It really does. The performance aspect is that good. On throttle. God, jeez. On the brakes. Nice downshift. Look at this. Here we go. Back on those brakes. Look how balanced it is. It's so poised. God. I absolutely love driving this thing. I love driving this freaking Stelvio Quadrifoglio. It's everything that you want from a performance SUV when it comes to feel, sound, look, style. All right, technology, uninspiring with the infotainment system. The switch gear is uninspiring, but the thing you're holding on to most, the steering wheel and these metal paddles and these seats are superb. But as much as I don't want to give it back, we got to get back to Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete and hand the keys over. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another crazy day here at Jaguar Land Rover St. Pete. Definitely want to thank Miro, Jeff, and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2022 Stelvio Quadrifoglio. Let me know what you think. Does the Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio check off all those performance boxes? Would you rather have this over a BMW X3 M? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radius Rides family. Definitely got to give it up to Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography, doing the business. Check him out on Instagram. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.